Girl, we have got to talk about this today because this is a crazy story and you're going to love it. And it's going to help you in your business. So I love sharing this story with people because it just goes to show that, God has higher plans for you, as well as the fact that God will do exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ever ask or think. You can apply that to every area of your life, including your business. And so here's what happened for me. um, I was at a point in my business where I was already growing on Facebook. I was doing really well, doing Facebook Lives daily, right? So doing videos here on YouTube daily is like nothing new for me, not really. Um, so the next step that I was led to do was to start creating videos on YouTube. There was something about YouTube where it was just like, you can put your content out there, and unlike doing it on social media platforms, it's not going to disappear after a few days and you feel like you're constantly consuming, or I should say constantly creating. So I got on YouTube and I started to create a channel, not this one, but I had a channel, and I had content where I was specifically talking about an affiliate program that I was a part of, um, and looking to, grow my affiliate commissions from that. I was also considering creating my own stuff and I was getting nervous about it, but it was feeling like the right time. The only thing about me creating my own products and like not doing affiliate stuff anymore was the fact that I am not very good with tech at all. And I'm just like, Lord, help me, Jesus, because I don't know what I'm doing. And so, you know how, your kids are probably like, well, my kids are adults now, but at the time they were teens. And I was like, can you help me with some of the technical stuff that I might need? And they did. And so things were starting to look a little good. I had a funnel and I had, I was getting ready. And so I'm being obedient, right? I am following what God is guiding me to do, following how the Spirit leads me. And I was feeling really good about that. I felt at peace with the content that I was creating and the people that I was starting to connect with. It was feeling really good. And I'm like, yes, now the income's growing, and it like I was getting very excited. So finally, towards the end of that year, and that year happened to be 2019, I did what I normally do in around November, December, and I was having a conversation with the Lord, and I was just saying, for 2020, I am ready. I can't wait for the theme that you're gonna reveal to me, and like what that year is gonna bring. It's gonna be a whole new decade. Like what's getting ready to happen, right? Now, in that same month of November, little did I know, God had some other plans in store for me, right? Not in place of what I was asking Him for, but in addition to, it was an enhancement, and I had no idea it was coming. So I love sharing this story because of it. Because of it, I want you to remember that God has plans for you to prosper, right? And not to harm you, but to prosper you. And sometimes these things will happen so fast, it'll make your head spin. And that when you ask Him for things, there is nothing that He can't do for you because He loves you, not because of how well you perform, but because He loves you. So anyway, I'm talking to God. And I'm like, yeah, 2020, what we got going on now. We all know what ended up going on in 2020. Okay, it was the pandemic. It was crazy. It was unlike anything that any of us has seen in our lifetime. And so, God knew that. I didn't. So I'm like, yeah, 2020. He's like, I got to get you ready. Let's get you prepared. And the end of November, I got an email from someone who had seen my YouTube videos. And I'm like, okay, my YouTube videos is working, child. Yes, I'm about to give me some more clients, child. Yes, right. And this person, sure enough, had said to me, I was actually searching specifically on YouTube for a coach, for a business coach in my area. And at the time, we were living in the DC area, um, who was also an affiliate of this program. And I'm thinking to myself, oh Lord, that's that is why you led me and directed me to go on YouTube when I did, because it was perfect timing. Some people call this serendipitous, but this is that right place, right time. These are those moments of grace where God orchestrates things in a way that it all works out even better than what you were thinking in your head, right? And so, he came along, and what was interesting to me was when I first saw his name in the email, I was like, there was something about it that I was just like, oh, I don't know who this is, but this is going to be somebody special. Like this is going to be so. And at the time I was thinking he was going to be like special to the business. I think I might have somebody that's a real go-getter and that is going to do well in my program and like all of that stuff, right? Well, little did I know at that time, that man who had sent me the email was going to turn out to be the love of my life and my husband. No clue. No idea. I had no idea. And I'm sharing this story in particular today because today is actually our 5th-year wedding anniversary. So just to look back on this, it's hilarious, but it's perfect for this channel since we're talking business. Because ladies, you never know. I'll also share this. At the time, I was very happy with my life exactly the way that it was. So it wasn't like I was like, oh Lord, I'm lonely. Send me a man. It wasn't none of that. I was very happy. I felt the peace and the joy of the Lord all within me, flowing through me. I felt an alignment. I felt really good about who I am and being by myself and knowing my kids will be fully grown soon and that they can go off and live their lives. And we would still be able to spend time together or travel together. And I would have done my job as a mom for the most part, right? I will have raised them and they would both be adults very soon. And I was just like really excited for what was to come in the next season of my life. I did not know what was to come was marriage. I did not know that. So, yeah, it was crazy. Let me get back to the story. So, he emailed me. We had set up time to meet on a Zoom because that's what I did with all of my new clients. I wanted to have a nice little onboarding welcome session. And we get on, and I kept wondering what Sean Walton, that sounds like, I don't know, a middle-aged white man with silver hair. Like I didn't know. But we get on, and it is this handsome, youthful, intelligent black man. And I was like, "Oh, well, hello." I had no idea that that was who I was gonna meet. And he had this sexy New York accent from Brooklyn. Oof, oof, I love Brooklyn accents. Oh my God. And I was just like, he's attractive and all, and he's not what I expected to meet up with, but I gotta chill. You know what I'm saying? Like he was looking for me for business, so that's it. And I had a policy when it came to working with folks, like I'm not dating people I work with or anything like that. So that's how that went. We had a very good conversation. It was a great meeting. And things kind of took off from there. So for the next 11 months, we were working in tandem. I was helping him with his business. He had partnered with me for one of my business projects. We were, building momentum, making money, and it was really, really good. As time went on, I started to learn more about him and the fact that, he's very good with tech. And I was like, oh. That's amazing. Like, I wish I knew that kind of stuff. I don't. So he was helpful. Like, he would volunteer to kind of help out with things here and there. And I really appreciated that. So that entire time, for a good 11 months, we were just business partners. I couldn't even just call him a client because we worked together on things. So that's how things went all the way up until about September, mid mid September of 2020. Now, here's what happened at that time. And I'm actually going to mention it here, but I'm probably going to need to share it in another video, or maybe on a different channel of mine, because it deals with God and relationships. I mean, I could put it on this channel. I don't know, Chad. Let me know if you want it here. But at the time, I had, because here we are now in September of 2020. And I will have to go backwards a little bit. Oh my gosh, I'm all over the place with the story. But by September, there was somebody that I was working with who was showing interest in me, heavy, heavy child. And I was completely oblivious at the time. And he had asked me out, but I didn't realize he was asking me out. I thought he was inviting me to a meetup with other business partners and stuff. And then I did go out on one date with him. And then, well, maybe two, and then that was it. And I'll explain why, and why that was such a big blessing at the time. Because right after all of that happened, I feel like God was teaching me several lessons at once, and making sure that I understood the importance of surrender, and casting my cares onto him, and not worrying about the future, not feeling anxious about what was going to happen next, and not feeling like I got to come up with all the answers, that he was truly there with me in all things at all times. And so, that whole thing happened again. Child, that's a whole nother story. It could be a soap opera episode, jail. Okay. But, so Sonny had seen me in a Facebook Live, and he mentioned, oh, we've been working together all this time. We only live about 20 minutes away. We should definitely meet in person. And I was like, that would be cool to do. That would be cool to do. Because I realized after this guy, I was like, like, dating is not really something I'm thinking about at this point. I was going to see with this guy, but I prayed about it and dodged a bullet. I'll just say that. And so, you know, Sonny came to pick me up. We went out for lunch. It was very casual, just hanging out. Went to the park and ate our food, and like just talked and talked and talked. And what I thought was going to be a brief 30 to 60-minute lunch turned into like 5 hours. 5 hours of just talking and sharing things. We talked about business. We talked about plans for the future. We were just, it was really cool to speak with someone else that was so as ambitious as me, and had all these big dreams and big goals, and wasn't afraid to go for them. I love that. And part of what extended our date, we were just having lunch. I promise. It was supposed to have been platonic. But we went, and I showed him a neighborhood that I like to go to really immerse myself in the feeling of wealth, and that I was like, these are the types of homes that I would like to purchase. And I had the floor plans back at my house and all that. And I was telling him about this stuff, but we're driving around, and he was like, yeah, I like houses like this. And I was like, yes, cool. And we were talking about, again, the future, and what we wanted, and the fact that, especially as Black people, obviously we could both relate to the fact that people want to assume, and even we ourselves, some of us have been conditioned to believe that those big things, like being wealthy and having big homes and all of that, was unattainable for us, or highly unlikely, and we were just supposed to be regular. Regular, I'm saying it like that on purpose. But he and I didn't look at it that way. We looked at it like, this is our destiny. This is how we are supposed to live life. in luxury, in wealth, in abundance. And to connect with somebody like that, I was like, oh, I really like this guy. That's how I felt at the time, feeling like this is going to be a really great friend. And then by the end of that, when it was time for him to drop me back off, I didn't really want that. Like I wanted to spend more time with him. He wanted to spend more time with me. And that's when I realized, oh, I think I like him, but I'm not sure yet. Let's see, right? And he was like, we should actually like go out on a date. Like, well, he didn't say it like that, but he was like, we should go out to dinner. We should, And I was like, cool. And so when we did that, that date was supposed to just be lunch. It turned into lunch and dinner and walking on the National Harbor and having conversations and walking and talking and eating and walking and talking and eating. And that turned into a 13-hour date. Our first date was 13 hours, no hanky panky. So wasn't nothing like that going on. No, nothing. Like we didn't hug, we didn't hold hands, we did not touch at all. And yet I felt more connected to him than almost any other human being on the planet that I've ever met. I'm close to my parents. I'm close to my children. I'm close to my younger brother. But this man, there was some different kind of connection. And we talked about everything that night, from religion and spirituality and Christianity to child rearing and relationships with our children and relationships that we've had in our past and what we've learned from it. Um, and I did not press him to find this out. He volunteered the information, just kind of, he was sitting there just kind of looking out and really getting introspective. So I knew he didn't even realize some of the things that he was saying because it was coming from the heart. It was just coming right out. And one thing that clicked for me was he mentioned, I'm really not, that kind of guy that's like, oh, I want to date 3, 4 girls, 7 girls. Like I really enjoy being monogamous. And I know like a lot of people think that's weird, and I was sitting there like, no, that is a very good thing. Green flag. But yeah, the more that we talked about everything. We talked about politics. Like I said, we talked about our future. We talked about the fact we both wanted to move out west eventually. Like we had so much stuff in common from our childhood favorites, right? Our childhood favorite things, like so much stuff. So much stuff. And even in things that you wouldn't have thought to talk about with someone, it all came out. And my thing is, I prefer, whether it's in business, right, in my professional life or my personal life, I'm going to give you all of me up front. I believe honesty and transparency is the best policy. I don't see a reason to hold back. And if I am in the image of God and he is willing to give freely and be a generous God and not hold back, right? And show you the fullness of who he is, then that's how I believe I should be. And I know that people give this dating advice of, oh, child, you need to save that talk for the third date and you need to save this behavior for the fifth date. And child, that's game playing. And I didn't have time for that. I love being me, whether it's in a business setting or a personal setting. I love being me because I know who I am in Christ. I know my identity is rooted in Christ. And all of these beautiful gifts that God has poured into me and stirred it up real nice, that makes me me, he did that. And so I am super happy to be who I am. So why would I withhold who I am from people? So I don't do that. What you see is what you get. And even if you don't see it all, I'm going to tell it all. I'm putting it all out on the table. And it saves me a lot of time. And it also saved me from headache, heartache, and embarrassment from that previous guy. But like I said, that's another story. So at the end of that date, again, no touching, no hugs, no hand holding, not even a handshake, child. And he drops me back off at home. And I was just like, I think I'm falling for this guy already. And I don't know how he feels about me because, like I said, he wasn't trying to touch me or anything, and just very respectful. It wasn't, he didn't make anything awkward. He made me feel very comfortable, but just, yeah, like I was like, wow, is he even interested in me? And it was so crazy because now I'm gonna back up, like I said I would. That year, my theme was the year of time and space. And the fact that God is the Lord over time and space. Time and space don't uh, uh, limit what he can do. He's above that. Those are natural things. He is supernatural above it. And I'm like, oh, so he can actually take time and condense it down. He can stretch out time for you where the quality makes it feel longer. And he can take you from point A to point B faster than you ever thought. And that was exactly what happened to me that year. That theme rang true for me. And that's why I'm so excited about this year, because this year is the year of much more. And I got much more that I want from the Lord. And he's like, hey, dream big, ass big. I'm a mighty God. What do you want? Right. So I'm really excited about that. My main focus though has been what I really want is to spend time with you, Lord. And as I'm doing that, understanding things better, understanding me better, understanding life better, understanding my business better, understanding my clients better, so that I can be better and really have a high quality of life, not just spiritually, but also emotionally, as well as like in the physical, right? So anyway, so just a few days after that date, we were exclusively dating, made it official on Facebook, whatever. It's funny because I'm not even on Facebook anymore, but I got a story about that too. Um, so yeah, it was crazy how fast that happened. But again, God can condense time. And then, mind you, within about 4 months after dating, we started dating October 15th. Exactly 3 months later, January 15th, he proposed to me. And then in February, we got married. And it was 2/21/21. It's so exciting. So exciting. And what was really cool about all of that, right? Like I said, 2020 was that year of time and space. Within a 5 month span of time, God put me in a position to earn 5 figures a month consistently. I've had 5 figure months before, I've had 5 figure days before, but a consistent 5 figures a month from that point onward. And I've never looked back. Now, that's amazing that all of that happened that year. All of that. The business for me took off, and I was finally where I wanted to be with that. I meet somebody when I wasn't even expecting to and fell in love with them and then married them. So, how do I tie all of that together? Why am I sharing all of this? It is because when I asked God for a better business, a more successful business, and success in a way that's good success that the Lord describes, he gave me much more, much more. He gave me exceedingly, abundantly, above all that I could ever ask or think, by not only answering my prayer, but over answering with my husband, because my business has gotten better over the past 5 years. Because, like I told you, I'm not very good with tech. And at the time, before I met him, I was like begging my kids to help me with tech stuff. And they're like, oh my gosh. Right. Um, but this man, he's so skilled in so many different things. I mean, certified with like Google ads, Google Analytics, Facebook ads. He could do JavaScript and what is it, CSS, and like all these different things, and knows all the different platforms, Kajabi and Go High Level, and all these different things. And I'm just like, that is amazing. And one thing about me is I am a sapiosexual. I need an intelligent man. That is a turn on for me. Especially if you know a bunch of things that I don't know, and you can teach me a thing or two, honey. So I really like that. And he embodies all of those things. Most important, most important was just his character, being honest, even if it meant he looked a little dorky or simpy at the time, but being honest, being open, being kind and considerate. And to this day, that has been consistent. When we decided to get married, we decided that we were going to put Christ in the center of our marriage. Have we done that all the time? Child, no. But thank God that our minds are always drawn back to him eventually. And then we can resolve certain issues and move forward. But he's been a great blessing to me and my business, a great asset to my business because he is strong in areas where I am weak and vice versa. So we complement each other very well, both in business and in personal life. So it just goes to show, your ideas and your thoughts about how God is going to turn your business around might have an outcome completely different than what you pictured in your head, because that was certainly the case for me. And again, time got compressed. And in my case, I got married 2 days after my 41st birthday. And that was my first marriage. So, and his first marriage. And he's 3 years younger than me. So, we kind of getting up there a little bit in age for people that's going to be getting married. But God made it happen so fast. Right. And what else is interesting that I may share at some other point in a different video is that Sonny was actually manifesting. He was manifesting me. He had, hey, write the vision and make it plain is a real thing, because he was writing the visions of what his wife would be like and how his life would be. And sure enough, he wrote it for October 15th of last year, and even did a post, not last year, the year before we met each other. So he wrote it back in October. I'm sorry, not October, January 15th of 2020. He had put out a post even. Hey, these are the bungalows that I'd love to take my future wife to. I don't know who that's going to be. And exactly 1 year later, in January of 2021, January 15th of 2021 was the day he proposed. So you have to do more than just wish and dream about it. You really have to believe, right? Jesus said you have to ask and believe that you have it and you'll receive it. That is such a beautiful thing to know, that he does that in all areas of your life. And so when I was asking for enhancement and growth and beauty and joy and peace within my business, he brought it to me in the form of love through my husband, who would be my best business partner, my best friend, and my the closest person to me. Like, I don't even know what to say.